Good morning from Sailing Nova Vita. It's an exciting day today. It's Saturday the 26th of July. We're currently in Hugh Town, Azores, Scilly, and today we start our long passage of about 10 to 12 days, weather dependent, to Ponta Delgada, the Azores. Yay! Yay! We're putting our big boy panties on and we're going out into the deep blue water. We're going off in search of some sunshine and warmth for a while because, well, it's just been a bit cold, grey and overcast and we feel we've got mould in our bones. So we're going to go find somewhere nice and sunny. Looking forward to the passage. Long passage. It's about 1,200 miles from here to Ponta Delgada. Fingers crossed for the weather. We've looked at it and it looks good. We've plotted a route which we'll show you in a minute and show you how we're getting prepared for our long journey. So we're currently here in the moor and ball field in Hugh Town, St Mary's, Isles of Scilly, and we've plotted our route. It's the pink route that you'll see. To go out between the islands of St Mary's and St Agnes and across the shipping lanes, the TSS, Traffic Separation Scheme, all the way down across Biscay to the Azores here. So you might wonder why we haven't just gone for a direct route from here to here, but we've looked at the weather forecast and feel that if we do sort of come this way down and then across, we're going to be picking up some nice wind. We've got the option to go west if we need less wind or east if we need more wind. But looking at the forecast, this will give us a nice passage down. We're staying out of Biscay and we're going out into the deep water. This is, will it tell me? No. This is the continental shelf here. So from here, these lines onwards, downwards, it gets 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 metre deep. Ooh. Our day today has been spent going to the supermarket, and we have provisioned for 2 to 3 weeks. These are our dry stores, dry provisions, non-perishable items, whatever you'd like to call them. Basically tins, jars and pots, anything that's not going to go off, which we're now going to find some places for on board to store. We spent a few hours yesterday sitting down and working out some menus for our passages along. We've based a lot of these tins and rices for times when it's not that easy to cook something from scratch. So we have got like the basmati rice, which you will pick up off the floor in a minute, which you will cook from scratch if the conditions are good. If not, we've got some pouch rices which we can use instead. We've got some tinned potatoes, although we will get some fresh ones. This is the start of our provision. We're going to then get some fresh meat and some fresh vegetables, which will last us for probably 10 days in the fridge, and intermingle some fresh stuff and some tin stuff for when we're on passage. When we go offshore, we also put together a grab bag, which is stored under here. It's actually more like a grab box container. So a few of these items will be put in there. We're going to put some water in there, fresh water, and some chocolate biscuits. Just anything that you could eat if it all went upside down, shall we say, and you had to ditch to a life raft. You've got your grab bag, and at least you've got some nice bits of chocolate and some water that'll just keep you going. Ginger biscuits, they're always good because they are supposedly good for seasickness. So thankfully, never been in a live situation in a life raft. When we did our course, it was done in a swimming pool. Full-size life raft, full oilies, full boots, life jackets, the whole lot. And it was very eye-opening to see how difficult it is to get into a life raft if you have to. Hopefully you don't have to. But also the motion of the life raft once you're actually in it and you're moving, even in a swimming pool. So if your conditions are that bad that you may be in the life raft, you might need a ginger biscuit or two, or the whole packet.
And how do you feel before setting off on this journey?
Ooh, well, excited for a nice long passage. Nervous for a long passage. All of it really. Happy, nervous, but overall good. Overall good, but there's always a few butterflies in your tummy when you set out on a long passage, especially a big long offshore passage. But we feel we're ready. We've got the boat prepared, we've got ourselves prepared, mentally and physically, even though the tummy's still going a bit for a minute, and it will do until we get out there and we get going. But yeah, good. What about you?
I'm excited and nervous and really looking forward to the passage. It's been a while since we did a nice long offshore passage, so I'm really looking forward to this one. You have the obvious apprehensions of will the weather forecast change, etc, etc, but on the whole I'm really looking forward to this.
Big cheesy grins from the crew.
Ponta Delgada, here we come.
Yeah, we're putting our big boy panties on and we're going out into the deep blue water. So in normal course of practice, we're getting everything ready to go. We're making sure that all the cupboards are closed, everything's all sorted, everything's squished away. Under here, these are our bunks, and under here we've got catches to secure them shut so they don't fly open. Everything in bags, and if it's not in bags, it's in cupboards or in boxes to make sure it doesn't go flying around. Done the washing up. Still got chores to do, you know, on a boat. The dinghy is all stored away under there. When we go on a long passage, we don't have our dinghy on the foredeck. We find it helps us go to windward more, and our first part of the passage will be beating into some wind, so that's good. Coming up on deck. So we've done a few things on board, on deck, to make sure that everything stays in position when we go on this long passage. We've tied on our anchor, and to ensure that the anchor locker doesn't flip open, we've put a little clip on and then put some tape around that. We've also got our cruising chute lines all rigged. 1, 2, 3. So they're already rigged, ready to go as and when we might be able to use the cruising chute. Everything's been looked at, greased, made sure it all works, checked, double checked everything to ensure that it doesn't all go to pot somewhere. You can only do as much as you can do, but you do as much as you can before you go to minimise any hoo-has. Tested the wind vane again yesterday and made sure that was all working, lubricated that and got all that sorted. Dried out as well, all the kit was out drying. In fact, the whole mooring ball field looked like it was a laundry because everybody was doing their drying out of their kit yesterday. Well, we're nearly ready to go, so we're going to get prepared.
First couple of team making of the passage. We normally get underway, and the first thing I do is I put the kettle on, make a nice cup of tea. After all the getting ready and the leaving and the getting the sails up, still under engine for a minute, just clearing will be under sail and away. Here's a quick look round. Come from over there, heading around this way, heading out over there. 1,200 miles of open ocean. Let's go.
We're on our way. Lovely flat calm seas, and that is Bishop Rock Lighthouse. That's the most southwesterly lighthouse of the UK, I think. Haven't really tested that with Google and Wikipedia and everything, but sounds like it to me. Gorgeous day, not a lot of wind at the minute. We've got both sails up, full head sail, full mainsail, cup of tea on the go. Yes, life doesn't get much better. Cup of tea time. Just getting into the swing of things. What do you reckon?
I think it's lovely so far. This is good. Long may it continue.
Yes, lovely, lovely. Can we have this all the way, please? Thank you.
It's midday on day one, and here are the observations. The weather is sunny and warm. The wind is warm, I guess, compared to what we've been used to. As you can see, just a t-shirt and my fowlies. We've got full sails up. The boat is travelling along beautifully at 4.5 knots in 9 knots of wind. We're heading up into the wind to make our course as best we can, and we're just clearing the shipping lanes, or we're just clearing the end of the shipping lanes, about to cross them, south of the Isles of Scilly. There's one ship out there so far that we've seen. It's 8 miles away and going away from us, so I think we're good. That's it, nothing to report so far. It's lovely. The swells are about 1 metre, but they're really long and smooth, so it's a lovely day sailing out here.
Some cracking wind at 12 o'clock. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Here's our course on it's the telephone. Isles of Scilly. Red dot, red triangle is us. And when we're talking about the shipping lanes, it's this here, which is basically ships going east will be using this lane, ships going west using this lane, and we should cross as reasonably practical to 90 degrees as possible, but we're kind of aiming to come outside of the shipping zone and come out here. 12 o'clock on day one, and we've written our log: position, direction, speed, what the wind's doing, and anything of note. So we have engine off and full sails up. Yeehaw! That's good. We're all tidy, we're all squared away, nothing's moved as yet. Just about to make another cup of tea, because you can never have enough cup of tea and coffee on a passage. Then it'll be sort of lunch, I expect, around about 1-2 o'clock. We tend to have lots of little meals. It makes it easier to do the meals whilst you're on passage, and so you're not full up and really stuffed as you're moving around the boat, trimming your sails, etc. So, off to make a cup of tea. Just to explain, if you're not familiar with navionics, and some of our viewers maybe are not familiar, the big pink line here is the course that we plotted. The yellow line is our track. The red triangle is us, and that is the direction that we're currently going. So you can see we're a little off the track, but it's a sailing boat. We can only sail where the wind takes us. So we're going down on this course for a while, and then we'll have to tack and go a little bit more to starboard and then tack back again. You can only go where the wind goes when you've got a sailing boat, and we're trimming the sails to optimise the best course that we can, but where there's wind, we take the wind as we have it. Super stuff. Lunch, day one. Lunch on day one. We have homemade tortilla, courtesy of himself. John made a bacon, potato and egg tortilla yesterday. And we've got some savoury rice and some fresh tomatoes. Very Mediterranean.
It's 9 o'clock in the evening on day one. Alison is off watch until midnight. And the sun is just going down. It's very slow progress, very, very light winds. We're doing about 2.5 knots. It's a beautiful evening. Hopefully it's going to be a nice steady night, and yeah, we're making progress.
Hopefully you'll be able to see this. I'm on watch now from 12 o'clock. I've got the moonrise watch. It's very nice, you've just seen it. Lots of stars out. Nice and calm sea, no ships around on the AIS, and we also look obviously with our eyes and binoculars, and I can't see any at the moment, so we just keep our eyes peeled. We've got a nice wind, anywhere between 9 to 13. We could do with it veering around a bit. We could do with it becoming a little bit more westerly and northwesterly as forecast than it currently is at the moment, which is more southwesterly when we're beating into it, but that's okay. We're making progress further south towards our destination.
Hi, it's 7:30 in the morning. I've got another half hour of my watch to do. We've just had a wind shift in our favour by 30 degrees, which is great news. Puts us back on course. Still not much of it, 10-11 knots. But it's keeping us going. We're doing about 4 knots, so it's quite slow, but it's comfortable. The sea state is flat. There's the occasional swell of maybe 1.5 meters. As you can see behind me, it's cloudy, but out the other side, it's lovely clear blue sky. This is how my morning looks, heading south. We've been doing 4-hour watches this time instead of the normal 3 to see if it helps sleep patterns. Usually, obviously, you get a bit longer, you get a bit more sleep, and it's the first night of 4-hour watches, and it's working really well. So I'm watching about half hour, so I should go and get some sleep. I'll probably get 3 hours, get up at 11, and then we'll have lunch together. Between 11 and 1, and Alison will take the watch 1 till 4, and away we go again. If you don't put a time aside on passage when you're together sharing a watch, albeit for an hour or a couple of hours, you don't really see each other at all, so you might not really see each other or talk to each other for 10 days. Is that a good thing? I don't know. But yeah, it's nice to have that out to spend time and have a meal together on passage.
Lovely day. Still lovely and flat. We've got about 9 knots of wind and we're making just about 5 knots through the water, which is absolutely excellent. We're making our way upwind, so we've got both the sails out, as hard in and as tight in and as reamed in as possible to make the best angle that we can. Just past this fishing vessel here, French fishing vessel, and we've got another ship going down south as well. We've seen about 14 ships so far on our passage. We're keeping a little note of how many we see and what we're seeing en route. We've also seen dolphins. We've seen about 10 dolphins in 3 separate visits, which has been really good. One big pod of about 6 played around the bow and the boat. Always great to see, always lifts your spirits, doesn't matter what's going on, they always lift your heart. Really super stuff. And in other news,
What's the other news?
John's cooking a wonderful batch of fajitas for tea.
Busy.
Got everything with our non-slip mats, even got the bigger one out this time, as well as the lots of little small ones.
And tinned chicken instead of fresh chicken. Let's see. Lazy boy fajitas tonight.
And we always cook from scratch, but before we left we looked at different options for making food from scratch, but in an easier way. Chicken doesn't keep particularly long and that well, even though we've got a fridge. You have to eat a lot of chicken, a lot. So we thought we'd try the chicken in a tin. We just bought 1 tin, thought we'll see. But actually, it's okay. First time out for the fajita seasoning, because we normally put them in ourselves, but we're going for lazy boy option, as John said, and why not? We did a lot of provisioning with bad weather and bad conditions in mind, when it's not easy to cook from scratch with all your homemade ingredients. So we are cooking from scratch, but maybe taking just a little bit of a easy option on some of occasions. More news is that we are now crossing the 1,000 metre contour mark here, so we're now heading off the continental shelf. We've done the 200, the 500, and now we're doing the 1,000. So now we're going into deep water. Pink line is our proposed route, yellow the track, and we're the little red. We're trying to make a lot of west at the minute to follow our proposed route, because down here in a few days time off Cape Finisterre there's some not so nice weather that we don't want to be in. So we don't want to be coming down here, we want to be out here. So we're trying to make as much west as we can. Also, when we've looked at the forecast, if we do this route, we're heading upwind for a while, but the forecast is that the wind will change to come from the northwest, which will be perfect direction and perfect for us to head on down to the Azores. Beautiful day. Sunset, day 2. I've got the sunset watch this evening. We do a swap-a-rama, so I get sunset and sunrise, and John will get moonrise, and then tomorrow we'll do a swap so that I get moonrise and he gets sunset and sunrise, because then that makes it nice for everybody. The wind has changed direction now. It's now coming out of the northwest, so we've still got the full sails up. But we've eased them out so that we can optimise the sailing along in this lovely weather. Currently doing 5 knots, and I've got 9 knots of breeze, so not bad. Having a cup of coffee and just watching the world go by, checking to make sure there's no ships or anything else around, and reading and doing a puzzle and listening to my book. Isn't that amazing? Night night sun. Good morning. It's day 3, 7:15 in the morning. The sun has been up. I had the sunrise watch. Get the words right. The sunrise watch. Sun came up about 5 o'clock this morning. Gorgeous, beautiful, lovely day. Hasn't quite warmed up yet, as you can see. Still got the full clothes on, but I'm sure as the day passes on we'll be able to take some layers off, because I haven't got any less layers on than I had when I was in Scotland. So, oh, just no gloves. Very quiet night. No ships to be seen on AIS or by our eyes and the binoculars. Had a couple of dolphins came to say hello this morning at sunrise, but they were just literally passing by the boat. We don't have a lot of wind. It's 8 knots, 7-8 knots, and we're really not making a very good course or speed at the moment. So you'll see how bad it gets. Two and a half knots, not in the right direction, but now that the sun is coming up and both of us will be off watch for a bit. John is just waking up and getting himself together for the day, and she'll be going off watch, but between the watch changes we're going to put our cruising chute up. It's in the right direction for that, so fingers crossed it all goes well. We rigged the lines before we left the Isles of Scilly, so they're all ready, so we just need to put the sail in position, attach the sail and hoist it up. So next bit you'll see the cruising chute in action, hopefully, if it hasn't all gone wrong.
We've got the cruising chute up. There's not much wind, it's in about the right direction, so let's fly the cruising chute. See if we can make some distance with that. Beautiful morning again. I don't know what time it is. I think it's about 7:30 in the morning, something like that.
Day 3 of our journey from the Isles of Scilly to the Azores. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and well, just a quick roundup really. We got the cruising chute up. I'm just about to prepare something to eat for tea. We had fajitas for lunch, which was left over from yesterday, which John made. It's a bit swelly out here, so the cruising chute is a little bit flappy and goey, but we're managing with that. We won't fly it overnight. We'll be flying probably a pulled out head sail if the wind still stays downwind, but we'll see what is going to happen. But overall, nice sunny day, warmth is coming. I have taken off the oilies, but I've still had the rest on for most of the day, it has to be said. So that's it really.
Here we are down below. Life goes on. Even when you're in the middle of Biscay, life still has to go on. Food needs to be cooked. Washing up needs to be done. Life needs to be lived. This is what it looks like down below at the moment.
Looks a bit of an untidy mess, but it's an untidy, organised mess down below, because we're using that bunk to sleep on with the lead cloths up. So when it's your turn to go off watch and you want to get some sleep, you grab your duvet cover, your pillow and your fleece, and you put it all over there and you get in and go sleep. We've got a red light here, so it doesn't mess up with your eyesight. And then you zip yourself up, put your alarm clock on for 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever your watch is. We're doing 4 hours at the moment, and that's working out really, really well. We're finding it feels really rested after the 4 hours, so that's good. And then tonight, so tonight is John gets the sunset, I get the moonrise, and then John gets the sunrise, so he gets double suns today. Yee-hee!
Tea tonight. There's a pre-cooked rice. This is microwave rice, or put it in a pan rice. Works out really well. Some tortilla, tomatoes.
I'm going to chop that up and fry it with the leftover fajitas as well. All in a pan. Stop.
That's where we are, and that's where we're going. That's where we are, and that's where we're going. We have got 922 miles left to go. Approximately 7 days left.